A 6-0 start to the season came to an end yesterday at the mercy of the Doubledays ace. But after 5 runs in the bottom of the ninth, the Americans will look to carry their momentum into a second leg of a home-and-home here at Falcon Park as they face a pitcher who has seen much different results to begin the season. It's the Americans. It's the Doubledays. It's PGCBL baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league-low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle. Is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby. Go,
Come
baby,
here,
go,
fence.
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome back into Falcon Park for this game between the Niagara Falls Americans and the Auburn Doubledays. I'm Andrew Roberts. I will be your play-by-play broadcaster here for the entire season. We'll have Avery Vogt back on the call at home tomorrow, but today it'll be me here calling all the action between the Americans and Doubledays in this second leg of a home-and-home. The Doubledays won 11-5 yesterday at Sal Magley Stadium, but the Americans had the last 5 runs in that game, gaining some momentum. As we'll take a look at the PGCBL standings, the Americans still in first place at 6-1, as the Newark Pilots also lost last night to go down to 4-1-1 on the year. They tied with the Doubledays earlier this year, so they're 3-3-1 in 5th place. Muck Dogs and Tarp Skunks have the last 2 playoff spots as of right now. Auburn looking to get back in there, and it's Pioneers, Ironbacks, and Red Wings towards the cellar of the West Division. And the Auburn Doubledays taking the field. We are going to be pausing for the national anthem here in just a moment before we have action underway here at Falcon Park.
William Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask all who are able to please stand and remove your hat for our national anthem. The anthem will be performed this evening by Ms. Kira Dominic.
That was Kira, the on-field host here in Auburn with the national anthem, but we'll be underway here in just a moment. We'll give you the Niagara Falls Americans lineup. Leading off in center field is going to be Grant Moore, looking to expand his 7-game hit streak. Evan Core, the DH, will bat second tonight. Graydon Miller at first base, batting third. Paul Delanto doing the catching for the first time this season after a stretch at DH. He'll be the cleanup hitter. Ian Huang back in the lineup, batting fifth. Chris Gonzalez still at short, batting sixth. Jake Hollins in right field, bats seventh. Brady Bowles shifting over to the hot corner, batting eighth. Tommy Mathay batting ninth. And Jack Satinoff, the extra hitter, batting last in this lineup. So a good number of lefties in the lineup today. 4 lefties, 1 switch hitter to face the right-hander, Hunter Lefkis, the starting pitcher for Auburn tonight. So far on the year, 0-1, a 13.5 ERA, and 5 strikeouts. He's a product of St. Peter's University. And for the Doubledays this season has been consistently in that starting rotation alongside Brennan Heilman, Owen Burchard, and Colin Castile. So they have just rotated between those 4 as the season has gone on. This is just the second start, though, for Lefkis. Everybody else has had 2 to 3, but Lefkis will get his first look at these Niagara Falls Americans this season in his first year as an Auburn Doubleday. So the Doubledays coming off an 11-5 victory, but the Americans were finally able to get to Auburn in the bottom of the 9th last night. Batted around nearly in that 9th inning. And Grant Moore able to get a last-minute hit to expand his hit streak. And here he comes into the batter's box. Arguably the best batter in this entire Americans lineup so far this season, batting .480 with an OPS of 1206. Also a great base runner, 11 stolen bases. And he will see the first pitch here from Hunter Lefkis. That is going to be down the pike for strike 1. Grant Moore, the PGCBL West Division Player of the Week this past week, takes the 0-1. And now it is 1-1 as Moore takes the ball to even things up. Pitch fouled off down the third base line, makes it 1-2. Moore, 6 RBIs on the season. Got his first couple extra base hits early this week. Triple against Geneva for his first hit of the day in that game. The pitch goes low. Will be called ball 2 to even up the count once more. It's a back and forth battle between Moore and Lefkis. Evan Core in the on-deck circle. And Lefkis, the 2-2 pitch. Up the middle, the comebacker. And Lefkis will send it to first base for out number 1. So it'll be Evan Core batting second for the Americans. He has also been off to a very hot start. .545 batting average. .1433 OPS. Has played in a lot of different places in this outfield. All 3 positions at different points. And now the DH tonight. Takes ball 1 on the outside corner. And Evan Core, a product of SUNY Niagara, did not see action in 2025, but a .357 hitter over there in 24. That finds the strike zone on the low edge. So Evan Core looking to become the first base runner here today for the Americans. That finds the outside edge of the zone, makes it 1-2. And in the on-deck circle now is Graydon Miller. Not exactly a circle here at Falcon Park. It's right on the warning track, but nonetheless, he is warming up. As ball 2 goes outside to even up the count on Evan Core. the second consecutive 2-2 count in this game for Hunter Lefkis. And pitch number 10 on the way. In just a moment, he delivers. Fouled off by Core. Graydon Miller looking after that one. Miller back in the lineup after a couple of games where Ethan Madison saw some time at first. It was a mix of guys there throughout the week. And it's ball 3 to make it a full count on the outside of the zone. Evan Core, 2 hits last night. The only American who can say that. And takes ball 4 a bit inside to put the first runner on tonight for the Americans. And the Americans have been very patient at the plate this season. They've played small ball, and it's resulted in them getting a lot of free bags, regardless of the opponent. Their season high came against Geneva in that 20-3 victory. They actually had more free bags than runs at 21. Oh, Graydon Miller gets whacked. It's first and second. So that gets that free 90 count up to 2 in just the first inning here, as Paul Delanto will have 2 runners on and 1 down. The cleanup hitter has 1 home run on the season, 8 RBIs. Hit a huge grand slam against Geneva. Would be great to see number 2 here. Proclaimed to have the most pop on the entire team. That was his statement in the clubhouse today. Fly ball into right field, and catch is made by Bobby Hardy for out number 2. Runners will hold. And Paul Delanto certainly hit the ball well there, but just not quite far enough that time around. And here's Ian Huang. Will bat lefty tonight against the right-handed Lefkis. 2 ducks on the pond. So the Americans looking to strike first here tonight after 11 unanswered to start the game for Auburn in the first leg of this home and home. Ian Huang started the season with a 4-for-5 day in Batavia. Since then, not quite the same results, as Lefkis checks the runner and strike up the middle to make it 0-1. And Lefkis checking consistently on Evan Core at second base before delivering on the 0-1 pitch. That'll even up the count at 1. Ian Huang with 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Big lead at second base for Evan Core. Pitch from Lefkis. Right down the middle, and not biting is Ian Huang. He'll take that pitch. Now down 1-2 in the count. The 417 hitter looking to chase guys like Moore and Core for the leaders in batting average on this team as he swings and misses. It's strike 3 on Ian Huang. That'll wrap up the top of the first inning. We'll be back with the Doubledays lineup and your Americans starting pitcher. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back here in this bottom of the first inning, and we will give you the lineup for the Auburn Doubledays. Tyler Vivacqua, the leadoff man, once again. He's the extra hitter tonight. Josh Thompson at third base bats second. Adam Sullivan batting third in center field as opposed to shortstop last night. Parker Schwake, the DH, bats cleanup. Max Fishbein at first base batting fifth. Tommy Kerwin, the second baseman, batting sixth. Michael G. Martino doing the catching and batting seventh. Alex Vasquez, Sam Meyer, and Bobby Hardy, 3 straight righties to round out the lineup. Vasquez and Hardy just in their second games as Doubledays, but the Doubledays have stacked their lineup with plenty of lefties to face the right-handed Keegan Bazinet. And on the season for the Americans, started one game. That came Sunday against Jamestown, so on normal rest here. And he's 1-0 on the season with a .270 ERA and 5 strikeouts, product of SUNY Niagara. Came out of the pen in the College World Series right here at Falcon Park, but started plenty of games throughout the season for the Thunderwolves back at his community college. But Tyler Vivacqua is up first for the Doubledays. The .357 hitter. He has been one of the most consistent players in this Doubledays lineup. Actually attends Niagara University, so bit of a reunion for him as the ground ball heads towards Bowles at first, and Americans will get it across the field for out number 1. So it's Bowles to Graydon Miller to retire Tyler Vivacqua on just 1 pitch. So next up for the Doubledays here will be Josh Thompson. Did not play last night against the Americans, but a .200 batting average on the season. Comes from Siena. So the second consecutive Division I player Keegan Bazinet will have to face, and ball 1 will go on the low inside corner. In the 6th inning, it'll be Chris Gazalda to lead things off for the Americans. Or second inning, rather, but it's now the pitch from Bazinet. Grounded. Picked up by Ian Huang, and it's out number 2 on the second consecutive ground out by the Americans. So 2 down quickly here as Adam Sullivan is up next. Another big hitter and another Division I hitter for these Doubledays. .333 batting average, .808 OPS rather, and 10 RBIs. The third straight left-hander that Keegan Bazinet will have to face. He's playing center field tonight. Strike 1 on Sullivan. Sullivan, the college teammate of one of the Americans' catchers, not catching tonight, but Robert Wegren, comes from Lemoyne as well. As ball 1 goes outside to even up the count. Doubledays have 2 mascots here in the stand. Bird named Casey is one of them. He's passing by right now as strike 2 goes on the outside part of the plate. So Adam Sullivan had a great night against the Americans last night, looking to build on it. Pitch from Bazinet in there for strike 3. So Bazinet sends the Doubledays packing. 1, 2, 3. We'll head to the top of the second after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the second inning, and this second inning is brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more, as Chris Gazaldo up to the plate to face Hunter Lefkis. Strike one on the outside part of the plate to Chris Gazaldo. The pitch. Another one outside, but too far that time around, evens up the count. Gazaldo looking for his first extra base hit this year, but he is batting .368, so a great contact hitter here for the Americans. Takes another ball outside. Hunter Lefkis has liked that lefty batter's box. Only went 3 1/3 in his first start. Looking to beat that tonight. And that's a low strike, too, to even up the count on Gazaldo. Chris Gazaldo, a product of Panola College, has played a mix of third and short here for the Americans. Now his Panola teammate Brady Bowles is over at third. He's in the hole. Way inside to make it a full count here in this top of the second inning. Lefkis with his first full count of the game. The pitch. That is in there for strike three. Gazaldo goes down looking. Seen a lot of that tonight. The patience for the Americans just a little bit too much here in the top of the second inning. But Jake Hollins is up next. Hollins had a few days off, but back in the lineup in right field tonight. .294 hitter and 3 extra base hits on the season. Second year with the Americans. The pitch in there for strike one down the middle. And Jake Hollins played a lot of center field for the Americans to start the year, as he did in 2024, but Coach Cordero shifting him to right tonight as the count evens up at 1. Hollins very familiar with Sal Magley Stadium as he plays at Dieuville, but less familiarity than some Americans here at Falcon Park. Did not play in that World Series game with all those SUNY Niagara guys, but it's 2-1 on the count to Hollins. The pitch fouled off down the third base line, and count is even. Hollins 5 RBIs on the year. One of those driven in his most recent game back on Sunday. And Lefkis the pitch. Driven to the shortstop on the ground ball. And it'll be there in time for out number 1 out number 2 rather at first base. So Hollins sent down on the ground out 6-3. And now it's Brady Bowles, the final hitter, due up in this top of the second, hoping to expand the inning for the Americans, or extend it rather. Pitch from Lefkis goes outside to make it 1-0. Brady Bowles has seen time all over the infield this season. Played at second last night, now third tonight. Couple games at short. Strike one finds the outside part of the plate. And Bowles here alongside a handful of Panola teammates, including Chris Gazaldo, who you saw earlier this inning. And that outside part of the zone, whether it's in there for strikes or outside for balls, is where Hunter Lefkis has been throwing a lot of these pitches against righties. So a lot of precision, but looking for some way inside that time, though, as he over-adjusts in his effort to find the strike zone on this at bat against Bowles. Bowles, a very patient hitter, has taken a lot of walks for these Americans, but strike two right there to fill up the count. To be precise, Bowles has walked a grand total of 6 times so far this season. The pitch, ground ball, picked up again by Vasquez. And the second consecutive 6-3 ground out will end the top of the second inning. We'll be right back as the Doubledays will bring up Parker Schwake when we're back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the bottom of the second inning, and fans, we want to remind you that at all home games this season, get yourself the latest Americans gear, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, and much, much more. Stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions. Americans will be back at home tomorrow to take on the Ironbacks as Keegan Bazinet warms up for this second inning here against the Doubledays in a scoreless ball game. And due up for the Auburn Doubledays, it'll be Parker Schwake, Max Fishbein, and Tommy Kerwin. Fishbein, the only batter of the three that the Americans saw yesterday, but Bazinet did not pitch in that game, so completely different story here in the second inning here at Falcon Park. And the second inning was a rough one yesterday for Matt Kasperwitz, but Bazinet hoping to keep it clean here and give the Americans a shot to score the first run of the game in the top of the third inning. And Parker Schwake will drive that down into the outfield, gets past Gazaldo for the base hit. So first hit of the day for Auburn comes on the single by Parker Schwake. Very hard hit baseball. The line drive too fast for Chris Gazaldo as Max Fishbein comes up next. Had quite the night against the Americans last night. 1 for 3, also reached on an error. And a broken bat flies into the stands. My goodness. That'll be fouled off, but also a foul bat going behind it. Max Fishbein, only his second game as a Doubleday on the season. Debuted last night against these Americans, so Niagara Falls is all he's seen so far in his time as a PGCBL player. Product of Denison University, 310 hitter over there, 888 OPS, and amazingly, in just one game, his stats almost a mirror image of that for the Doubledays, 333 and an 833 OPS. Pitch from Bazinet goes low and away for ball one. Fishbein stepping back into the batter's box with an even count in this battle with Keegan Bazinet. Fouled off for strike two. And Parker Schwake, eager at first base, had a lead, will not attempt the steal just yet. Couldn't have on that foul ball, but Bazinet will have to keep eyes on him on this 1-2 pitch. He checks him at first and now sets to deliver. Grounder. That's a dribbler, shallow. Gazaldo coming forward to field it, and it is out number one here in this second inning. So Gazaldo coming in to record the out. He knew that ball was shallow. He responded accordingly. And Tommy Kerwin, with the runner now on second in the form of Parker Schwake, will look to drive him in with one down. Bazinet checking on Schwake, now delivers. And Delanto's framing will not fool the ump right there. It's ball one outside. Bazinet went over 5 innings in his first start, as it's a ground ball into the outfield, left field for a base hit. Schwake will hold up at third, but it's the second hit of the day here for the Doubledays. With just one down, Bazinet has some traffic on the base paths. And Michael G. Martino will come up next. It's the 4th batter Bazinet will face this inning. The catcher for the Doubledays tonight, and I got word when I got to Auburn, Troy Reeder, a little banged up from a couple nights ago, so the Notre Dame catcher has sat out these last couple games. Last night, DeCesare filling in, and now G. Martino, who takes ball 1 upstairs. Michael G. Martino, 300 hitter in a big moment. Bazinet will try for the pickoff at first base, but sliding in safely is Tommy Kerwin. Kerwin just singled. It's the second single of the inning here for the Doubledays after Parker Schwake's leadoff hit. And ground ball right to Miller, out at first. They'll try for the out at second and get there. So that'll end the inning on the double play. Americans send it to the third. We'll be right back. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the third inning, and here on the Americans Baseball Network, the third inning is sponsored by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, Geico of Buffalo, Sammy's Pizza, the official pizza of the Americans, and McDonald's. At every Americans home game, if the Americans score 3 runs, as they have every single game thus far, you can get a free McCafe frap with your ticket to the game. McDonald's also bringing back the snack wrap on July 10th. I'm personally excited for that one. Had a lot of snack wraps during my time abroad in London. Bringing it back to the United States, it's great to see. But Hunter Lefkis will keep on pitching here for the Doubledays in this third inning. And he will see the bottom of the Americans order. Tommy Mathay, Jack Satinoff. It'll be back to the top with Grant Moore at the end. But first up, the 9 and 10 hitters. Tommy Mathay and Jack Satinoff, both left-handers, as is Grant Moore. So it'll be 3 consecutive lefties that Lefkis, the right-hander, will have to see here in this third inning. Could be a tricky situation, but Tommy Mathay personally is looking for his first hit of the season as an American. Another Panola player batting behind Brady Bowles, his college teammate, grounds it on a dribbler to the shortstop, and the misplay. Reaching on the error is Tommy Mathay. So runner on in this third inning for the Americans as Jack Satinoff is up next. Satinoff had a couple of knocks in his debut on Wednesday against Geneva. I mean, everybody had knocks in that game. It was a 20-3 win for the Americans. They mercied the Red Wings in 7, and first pitch will go outside for the ball to Jack Satinoff. Satinoff, one of 2 Trevecca Nazarene players here on the Americans. The other being Ethan Madison, who played a few over the last few days, but sitting tonight after a couple of strikeouts in the last game against Auburn yesterday. Inside, and now it's 2-0, 2 very different balls, but nonetheless, Jack Satinoff has a hitter-friendly count here. It's a lead at first base for Tommy Mathay now. That gets in there for strike 1. Hunter Lefkis, after a rough first start for these Doubledays, looking to recover here against these Americans. Doubledays have had success against Niagara Falls thus far, but only their second game against the team, as that gets in there on the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Goes right over the line towards the righty batter's box. So an even count on Jack Satinoff. Hunter Lefkis delivers on the 2-2. Gets in there for strike 3. Satinoff goes down packing. It's 1 down, 1 on for the leadoff man, Grant Moore, looking to expand his 7-game hit streak. Grant Moore 0 for 1 on the day. And waiting for the first pitch from Lefkis. Check swing. We'll say it gets in there for strike 1. Grant Moore. He's shown a lot of patience, a lot of pop, and a lot of speed. And foul tip by Graham Moore on a big swing to make it 0-2. Graham Moore, I mean, looking to find more power here for the Americans, but definitely the potential to be a true 5-tool player. Lefkis checks on Mathay. Now sets for the 0-2. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's strike 3, but Mathay will take second base on the strikeout. So Graham Moore may be sent packing, but nonetheless, a stolen base by Tommy Mathay to make it a runner in scoring position for Evan Core. And Grant Moore 0 for 2 on the night now. Not an ideal start for him, but certainly a capable hitter. Should be able to recover as the night goes on. And here's the first pitch to Core. Grounded on the pitcher not able to get it, but it is sent to first base for out number 3. Well, it's to the bottom of the third as the Americans strand one on second. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the third inning here at Falcon Park. And fans, did you know American season tickets are just $99? Come be a part of the fun this summer at Sal Magley Stadium. Stop by the concession stands at any home game and pick up your season tickets to be part of this historic season in Niagara Falls. And the Americans will be back home for a Saturday night game against the Ironbacks. Swept the Ironbacks in a home-and-home last weekend, looking to keep their perfect record against that team in this battle of USA and Canada. But for now, it's the Americans in Doubledays here at Falcon Park. And up first for Auburn is Alex Vazquez. So the Americans saw just 4 batters come up in that top of the third. Bazinet hoping to stay in this pitcher's duel here. And delivers on the first pitch to Alex Vazquez. In for strike 1. Graydon Miller will be up first for Niagara Falls to begin the 4th inning. Bazinet's second pitch to Vazquez is fouled off behind him. 0-2 in the count. Vazquez went 1 for 4 last night. Had a hit in a big second inning. But after that, cooled off a bit. And that is in there for strike 3. Finds the outside part of the plate, and Alex Vasquez, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, sent packing. And Sam Meyer will be next for the Doubledays. He's seen the most action of these final 3 hitters in the Doubledays lineup, batting .267 with a .733 OPS. Will play left field tonight and takes ball 1. Meyer and Bobby Hardy, who's actually on deck, switched places in the outfield after last night. Hardy was in left and Meyer was in right. Now they flip-flop as Bazinet delivers. It's popped up right over the plate. Delanto is chasing after it, but Graydon Miller going to come up with the catch, the first baseman for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for these Doubledays, and now Bobby Hardy, the final hitter in the Auburn order, as Keegan Bazinet looks to keep it clean here at Falcon Park. Would be the 3rd consecutive scoreless inning for him, and the second 1-2-3 inning for him if he can retire Bobby Hardy. But Hardy, who takes the ball, a tough customer. 2 hits last night, 1467 OPS after that first game, as that is going to catch the strike zone to make it 1-1. Looked fairly low, maybe some contact made, but nonetheless, it's 1-1. The pitch from Bazinet, swing and a miss. So now Hardy down in the count. Rare to see from him after what he was able to do last night, but Bazinet, one of the better pitchers on this American staff, and he's showing it tonight. The SUNY Niagara product delivers on the 1-2 upstairs. Umpire confirms it's a 2-2 even count. Hardy comes from Denison University alongside Max Fishbein. They both arrived here just yesterday. And that is grounded to Brady Bowles at third base. The throw across to Miller is missed. So the error by Bowles, and headed safely into second is Bobby Hardy. He reaches on the error. And it's another error, 1 apiece for these teams tonight. And here comes the top hitter in the lineup for Auburn, Tyler Vivacqua. Vivacqua 0 for 1 on the night. Now has a runner in the scoring position for the first time. 2 RBIs on the season, looking for number 3 with 2 down here. Bazinet checks on his base runner, Bobby Hardy, and now delivers outside, clearly over that righty batter's box for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes to Vivacqua here. Bazinet continuing to check on the big lead from Bobby Hardy, but it's a 2-0 count to the current hitter, Vivacqua. Gotta wonder how much of an effect Bobby Hardy's lead at second base is having on Bazinet. Divided attention is not something you want to see as a pitcher, but Bazinet certainly has to have his attention divided right now, as it's a foul tip behind the plate for strike 1. Paul Delanto behind the dish for the Americans tonight. He's caught a good game thus far. Looking to keep it scoreless here in the 3rd inning. The 2-1 in just a moment here from Bazinet. That is low and away. And Vivacqua has a significant advantage in the count here with 2 down. The walk would mean 2 ducks on the pond for Auburn. For Josh Thompson in the on deck Circle right now. That's an outside ball 4, so the walk given up by Bazinet. That'll be the first walk for Auburn of the night. So first given up by Bazinet. As Josh Thompson comes up to bat with 2 on and 2 out. Thompson looking to get back above the Mendoza line. He's 0 for 1 on the night, came into the game batting .200. Takes ball 1 though. Josh Thompson, plenty of speed. Naturally a shortstop, 42nd ranked in New Jersey by perfect game. Grounds it between the shortstop and third baseman. Now Gazaldo picking it up, but it's not enough. Bases loaded on the single. And now Adam Sullivan coming up. He has 10 runs driven in on the season. He could really expand on that count here against Keegan Bazinet, but it's 2 down, so can't afford to make any mistakes up at the plate. Sullivan 0 for 1. Went down as part of the 1-2-3 inning that Bazinet started this game with. The pitch driven into left field for the base hit. 1 run scores. Second run coming around, but it's going to be a close call. Delanto is there for the easy tag for out number 3. So 1 run scores on the single, but that will be the end of the inning here. Auburn leads 1-0. We send it to the 4th inning after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the 4th inning, and this 4th inning is sponsored by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan, and by Coca-Cola. Get your Coke beverages at concessions at every American's home game. So back for the top of the 4th here as Hunter Lefkis on the bump for the 4th inning of pitching here. Lefkis only went 3 1/3 in his first start, looking to beat that here, and only needs to record 2 outs in this inning to do so, but looking to well exceed it. Brennan Heilman had a clean 6 innings last night and lowered his ERA to 2.77. Hunter Lefkis looking to follow in his footsteps. But he'll face the meat of the order here for the Americans. Graydon Miller up first, followed by Paul Delanto and Ian Wang. Miller hit by the pitch his first time around. Delanto and Wang looking to get on base for the first time tonight. But here's Miller. Came into the game with a .267 batting average. Still stands at that after the beanball in the first inning. And Graydon Miller looking to get something going for the Americans to match Auburn's run on the board. That's in the dirt for ball 1. Graydon Miller the leadoff man for the Americans in this inning. Product of Drury University. Takes strike 1 at the bottom edge of the zone. And the Americans still looking for their first knock of the night against Hunter Lefkis. And that is a huge hard hit ball into left field, but it'll be caught by Sam Meyer for out number 1. might be the hardest hit ball we've seen from the Americans tonight, but coming down with the catch is Sam Meyer as Hunter Lefkis continues on a great trajectory here against these Americans. The pitch from Lefkis is going to be right down the pike. Strike one on Delanto. Paul Delanto with the grand slam against Geneva. Sent one deep to right field his first time up. Check swing. He did not go. It's ball one. It's really a micro swing at most by Delanto. Umpire calling the ball there accordingly, as it's another ball outside to Delanto. 2-1. Delanto showing more patience. He was swinging very aggressively in last night's game after the home run, hoping to get another, but there's multiple ways he can get on base here as he fouls it off down the third base line. And you can't discount Delanto's ability to make contact. A .333 hitter, batted .450 back in high school, and a D1 Stony Brook product. Did not play there freshman year, but hoping to prove himself headed into his sophomore year as he sends it up the middle for the base hit. And fielded by Sullivan, but drops in front of him for the single. That's the first hit of the day for Niagara Falls. So Delanto, the first American to get a hit tonight. Now 1 for 2 as Ian Wang steps in. Niagara University product, but he will be transferring after his freshman year there. The pitch from Lefkis, swing and a miss. Big cut for strike one. So Americans have a runner on. Now a hit to match their one error in the game. They have struck out 3 times here against Lefkis. And there's strike 2 to Wang. He struck out his first time up, looking to avoid the second straight. And start to chase those numbers from his first game when he went 4 for 5. But takes ball 1 inside. And Wang on the year had that 4-hit game against Batavia, but since then, just 1 more hit. So, looking to get out of the slump here. The pitch from Lefkis will go outside for ball 2. It's close, but a little bit high, a little bit outside as G. Martino has to stand up for it. Wang has the bat over his shoulder now. Pitch from Lefkis, and ground ball foul down the first base line. An interesting note here. This is one of a couple turf fields here in the West Division, but not quite as bouncy as the Americans field. There's a lot of choppers over at Sal Magley here. Ball's falling a little flatter on this turf here at Falcon Park. Wang takes the pitch in the strike zone. He's down packing for his second strikeout of the night. Not what you want to see if you're Ian Wang. He's just looking to break out of this slump here. And Chris Gazaldo is up next. Came into this game batting .368. Struck out his first time up. 1 of 5 to strike out. The ground ball now to third base. Sent across the field for out number 3. So that'll wrap up the inning. Americans get their first hit on the board, but unable to knock them in. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the fourth inning, and fans, this season you can connect with the Americans like never before with exclusive content on our social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. The ats are on your screen right now. And we get ready for this fourth inning. A little correction on the stat sheet. The knock by Tommy Mathey earlier this game is a hit, not an error. So the Doubledays, no errors on the game, and have given up 2 hits to the Americans. As it'll be Parker Schwake up first to face Bazinet here in this fourth inning. Max Fishbein and Tommy Kerwin will follow. Americans will have Jake Hollins up first in the next inning, but first up, Keegan Bazinet, looking to avoid giving up any more runs. His first one came unearned in that bottom of the third, but the Doubledays have the 1-0 lead with Parker Schwake up to bat. And that is popped foul. We'll head into the bleachers for strike one. Bazinet came into this game with a 2.70 ERA and has continued to lower it in this start. Outside, ball 1 to even up the count. Parker Schwake, a product of Youngstown State. There's a few of them here on the Doubledays. And that is a line drive, hard hit past Ian Huang, and it'll be there for the base hit into the outfield. 5th hit of the night for Auburn. Puts a runner on to begin this bottom of the 4th inning. And it is Max Fishbein up next. Fishbein, the 1-for-3 game against the Americans last night. 0 for 1 tonight as he fouls that one off, popped up for strike one. Max Fishbein made his Doubledays debut last night against these Americans. Strike one finds the outside corner, or strike two rather. And Fishbein stepping back in as Bazinet checks on Schwake, the pitch. And that's another pop up into foul territory. And we'll head into the bullpen. Miller was chasing after it, but no way he was going to get to that one. And Fishbein staying in this at bat with an 0-2 count. Bazinet looking back to the runner on first. Parker Schwake had the leadoff knock for the Doubledays in this inning. That sent down the first base line foul. It's going to go in a similar spot. Harder hit, but on an 88-mile-an-hour pitch from Bazinet, the foul ball. And he delivers on the 0-2, sent another foul down the third base line. Max Fishbein is really working this count here. Hasn't taken any balls yet, but he's fouled off the last 3 pitches from Bazinet. Oh, 2 count as Bazinet looks back to first base, now sets to deliver. Swing and a miss. Fishbein goes down on 0 balls, 3 strikes. And it took 6 pitches, but Bazinet gets there for his 3rd strikeout of the night. And up now is Tommy Kerwin, the second baseman. Sends one to the shortstop, Gazaldo, out at second. And the out at first not there in time, so it'll end up being the fielder's choice. Runner still on first. And it's 2 down here in this 4th inning. Michael G. Martino will bat next. G. Martino 0 for 1 on the night. And Bazinet looking to strike out his 4th batter here in the 4th inning. G. Martino, the lefty, as Bazinet checks on Parker Schwake still. Or rather, now it's Tommy Kerwin at first base. But Bazinet looking to end this right here as ball 1 goes outside to Michael G. Martino, the catcher. Attends Wofford University. Fouled behind the plate to make it 1-1. Starting to cool off here at Falcon Park. You can feel a cool wind coming into the press box. Should be advantage to the pitcher. The wind going slightly in. And it's a low ball to make it 2-1. Michael G. Martino, the 300 hitter headed into this game, takes the pitch from Bazinet upstairs to make it 3-1. So Michael G. Martino on the year. Now grounds it to Huang. And at first base, it's out number 3. We'll head to the 5th inning after the break. Doubledays lead the Americans 1-0. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Welcome back here for the 5th inning at Falcon Park. And this 5th inning is brought to you by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. So Tommy Kerwan is still at second base alongside the rest of the defense here for the Doubledays after he was just stranded at first, but Hunter Lefkis will keep pitching here after 4 scoreless frames to start the game. And he'll see Jake Hollins, Brady Bowles, and Tommy Mathay in this top of the 5th inning. Mathay recording his first hit of the season in his first at-bat of the night. And Jake Hollins 0 for 1 tonight. 5 RBIs on the year and 3 extra base hits. So certainly a capable hitter. Has some power to him. And has not hit any home runs as an American, but plenty of doubles and triples as he'll face Lefkis for the 2nd time tonight. Fouled off down the first base line. Makes it strike 1 on Hollins here. Jake Hollins A veteran for these Americans, doing even better in year 2 than he did in year 1 thus far. The 0-1 also fouled off behind the plate. So it's 0-2 to Hollins. We're about an hour into this ball game, and it's already the 5th inning. Both pitchers making quick work here in Auburn. A big contrast to last night, a game with 16 total runs scored. The pitch way outside to make it 1-2. 80-mile-an-hour pitch from Lefkis. As Hollins still up here. The breaking ball will go inside for ball 2. Hollins saw where that one was going for sure. Pitch from Lefkis, swing and a miss. Down goes Hollins. It's his first strikeout of the night. But he's over 2 now as Brady Bowles comes up next. It'll be 2 consecutive Panola hitters here for the Americans. First the righty Bowles and then the lefty Mathay. These Americans have 5 players from Panola, 1 rising freshman. The rest headed into their sophomore year as Bowles sends it into shallow center field, and it's caught by Sullivan for out number 2. The Americans just 2 hits on the night as Hunter Lefkis has pitched a great game. These Doubledays pitchers are really starting to settle in here this season. Brennan Heilman, a great outing last night against the Americans. And now Lefkis tonight, but Keegan Bazinet giving him a good run for his money. Strike 1 on the low part of the zone to Tommy Mathay. Mathay 1 for 1, singled his first time up. The pitch goes just outside to make it 1-1. Mathay, a .296 hitter at Panola, .713 OPS, 14 RBIs. Another ball outside, and Mathay played in 36 games for that Panola team. Our regular starter alongside Bowles, alongside Gazaldo, and now all starting for the Americans tonight. And another ball to him to make it 3-1 with 2 down and nobody on. Mathay looking to be the first base runner here in this 5th inning. Taking a practice swing, now puts the bat behind him. And that's outside to walk him on just 5 pitches. Tommy Mathay gets on base for the 2nd time tonight on just 2 plate appearances. Jack Satinoff up next. And he will take the pitch from Lefkis. And it is not in time. Actually, my apologies. We have a pinch hitter here in the game. Get your word on who it is in just a moment here. But Satinoff will not be batting here in this 5th inning. It's Carmen Panaro, the pinch hitter, swings and misses. So Panaro with the 1-1 count here as Lefkis checks back on Mathay. Now it's second base. And it's ball 2 to Panaro. Lefkis looks back. Now delivers. Outside. And Lefkis starting to lose control of the strike zone here. Walked Mathay, who already took second base, and now Panaro with 3 balls on him. And Lefkis, the 3-1 count on him. Panaro actually appeared as a pitcher on Saturday against the Ironbacks, as it appeared that he would be switching to that, but he definitely played more outfield over at Niagara. Started the first game for the Americans in right field. Looking for his first hit in the year, though. That's in there to fill up the count. So full count, 2 down. And Matei on second. Panaro looking to drive him in. And Lefkis checks back on Matei at second base. Bigger and bigger lead. He'll start to advance, but the foul ball popped behind Carmen Panaro. And the payoff pitch in a moment here from Lefkis. Here it comes. Outside for ball 4. They'll try Matei at third. It goes wild. So the error by the catcher, G. Martino. Run comes in. And after the walk, a run will score on the error. So now 1 error apiece and 1 run apiece in this tie ball game. And that brings up Grant Moore with a runner on and 2 down, looking for his first hit of the night. Grant Moore 0 for 2 today. Struck out once. That came on his second at bat. So we will have a meeting on the mound here with Hunter Lefkis, who has now walked the last 2 batters. But Lefkis will hang in there. We'll see if there's action in the bullpen soon, but Grant Moore coming up next for these Americans, the left-hander, to face the righty Lefkis with a runner on and 2 down. And Lefkis will deliver. Moore sends it into right field, and that is going to drop fair for the base hit and Moore. Moore headed into second, and he will keep going towards third. Safe at third base and sends in the run for the Americans. The RBI triple by Grant Moore. What a knock by him. The 3rd hit of the day for the Americans, the 2nd triple of the year by Moore, and Grant Moore now up to an 8-game hit streak as the Americans take a 2-1 lead. Evan Core will now try to knock in Grant Moore. Oh, and he almost gets whacked on that one. Oh, they say it hits him. And now runners on the corners for Graydon Miller. This top of the 5th has been a good one here for the Americans. Hunter Lefkis has started to give way after 4 clean innings. The Americans got on the board with 2 runs. Doubledays manager speaking with the umpire. And Graydon Miller is up next for these Americans. Got hit his first time up. And waiting for the first pitch from Lefkis here. Swing and a miss, a big cut. But taking off is Evan Core. It's now 2 runners in scoring position for the Americans with 1 strike on Miller. So now 1-1 to Graydon Miller. And with an even count, Lefkis delivers, gets in there for strike 2, and this would strand 2 runners in scoring position for the Americans if Lefkis can record the strikeout to get out of this inning. This is the longest he has gone for the Doubledays thus far, but that'll get in there for strike 3 in the low inside corner. And down goes Graydon Miller with the strikeout. Americans score 2 but strand 2 in this top of the 5th. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the bottom of the 5th here at Falcon Park. The Americans just took a 2-1 lead in the top of the 5th. But fans, do you or someone you know have a birthday coming up? Why not spend it with the Americans? Packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs, and special recognition at the game, starting at just $175. Sign up online at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. Sponsored by Wegmans and Sammy's Pizza. And back in the bottom of the 5th, as stepping in for the Doubledays to start things off here is Alex Vasquez, the shortstop. Graydon Miller striking out to end the inning for the Americans after 2 runs were scored. And Bazinet will keep pitching. That ball 1 will be high and inside. And a check swing. They will say he went. So Alex Vasquez struck out once. We'll see if Bazinet can get him again. It was a swing and miss for strike 3 last time, and a swing and miss for strike 2 right there. So Keegan Bazinet hunting for his 4th strikeout of the night. Lefkis has struck out 7 for the Doubledays. An inside ball 2 to even up the count. Bazinet losing his hat on that one, but now adjusting his cap and readying for the 2-2 pitch in this back and forth battle with Alex Vasquez. Here it comes, and it's on the comebacker, gets past Bazinet, but Huang will send it to first base for out number 1. So right up the middle, Huang will field it after Bazinet misses it, and it's 1 down for the Doubledays as Sam Meyer comes up next. 267 hitter coming into the game, 0 for 1 on the night, so that average goes down just a bit. He's one of a couple of St. Joe's guys here for the Doubledays this summer alongside Kieran Kehoe, who is sitting tonight after starting last night's game. Sam Meyer has a 1-0 count from Bazinet. Another one inside as he has to dodge. So Bazinet with some close shaves here as Sal Magley loved to throw. That one went 86 miles an hour. The pitch is sent deep into left field, and Mathay's backing up. He'll make the catch for out number 2. Has to raise his glove, but it's a nice catch by Mathay. Tommy Mathay starting his second game in left field for the Americans. Also appeared as a pitcher once, but don't know if that will happen again or not. We'll have to see there, but Bobby Hardy's up next, and he gets hit by Bazinet. Taking his base. He's shaking off his arm. Looks like he got hit in the arm by Bazinet. As Tyler Vivacqua comes up with 2 down and 1 on. The base runner is Bobby Hardy, just got whacked by Bazinet. Bazinet has given up just 1 run tonight, looking to keep it that way, and that 1 run was actually unearned as the Americans committed an error. And he'll check on Hardy at first base, slides in safely. It's back to the top of the order now for the Doubledays with Vivacqua. Tyler Vivacqua 0 for 1 with a walk. It's the only walk Bazinet has given up tonight. Here's the pitch. That is sent down the first base line for the base hit. And coming all the way to third base is Bobby Hardy. He slides in safely. Runners on the corners with 2 down. Auburn hoping to tie this thing up in the 5th inning. And here's Josh Thompson. Hardy represents the tying run. And now at first base, Tyler Vivacqua represents the go-ahead run for the Doubledays. Thompson 1 for 2 rather on the night. And Bazinet checks on first base again. Now it's Vivacqua there, slides in safely. These number 10 and number 1 hitters for the Doubledays have some wheels. We saw some very fast running by Hardy all the way across the third base on the single, but ball 1 goes outside to Josh Thompson. Thompson, another speedster. And the rising sophomore at Siena. A lot of Division I players here in this Doubledays lineup, and several more on their bench tonight as well. It's a grand total of 7 Division I hitters alongside 3 Denison guys who all got here just last night. Swing and a miss to make it a 1-1 count here from Bazinet to Thompson. So count is even. Bazinet facing his 2nd consecutive left-hander here. The pitch is up the middle, and Vivacqua easily taking second base on ball 2. It's a little bit high, and it's 2 runners in scoring position for the Doubledays with 2 down, but the Americans had this exact same situation in the top of the inning, and they were unable to score anymore after their 2-run inning after the Grant Moore triple gave them a run as well as an error, giving them another on a walk by Panaro. 3-1 count. Fans are rowdy here at Falcon Park. And Bazinet checks back on Vivacqua at second and sends ball 4 to load up the bases. This is a real tough situation for Bazinet now, and Adam Sullivan will come up with the bases loaded for the 2nd time tonight. Now Will Cordero coming to meet with his pitcher Bazinet. The co-manager alongside Paul Wolf. Cordero running the show here tonight, and appears likely we'll have a new pitcher here after Bazinet gave the Americans a strong 4 2/3. But we'll wait and see here. There was some movement in the Americans' bullpen, but for now, Bazinet is going to stay out there. So Keegan Bazinet, big moment. Looking to get out of the jam with Adam Sullivan up to the plate. Sullivan got a hit the first time up with the bases loaded, looking to do it again and take strike one. So he's struck out once and also had that hit to drive in the run earlier today. RBI number 11 for him. That is low for the ball, makes it 1-1 with the bases juiced and 2 down. Hardy on third, Vivekwa on second, and Thompson on first as Adam Sullivan of Lemoyne will keep hitting here. That finds the inside part of the zone for strike 2. Bazinet now 1 strike away. Cordero showed some confidence in him. Now there's action in the Americans' pen, but they'll wait to make the move. Bazinet checking on Vivekwa at second. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. There it is. The Doubledays strand the bases loaded. 2-1 Americans as we end the 5th inning here at Falcon Park.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
New pitcher here in the 6th inning for the Doubledays. The pitcher is Eston Elku, native of Ithaca, New York, set to attend Middlebury College in the fall. And this 6th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is sponsored by Chris Robbins, Niagara County Legislator, Laborers Local 91, and Wegmans. Wegmans also one of the sponsors of the Americans birthday package that I mentioned last half inning. But Paul Delanto will start things off here for the Americans in the top of the 6th. They have the 2-1 lead after the Doubledays left the bases loaded to end the 5th. And Elku will start off this inning with a low ball to Delanto. One of a few Ithaca natives on the team alongside Ben Ruth. Oh, that one, the wild pitch outside for ball 2. Americans looking to get some insurance here after knocking out the starter after 5 innings. Americans have some action in the pen. We'll see if Bazinet will keep going in the 6th or if they'll turn to a reliever. Also another one way upstairs. It's 3-0 now, and if it keeps going this way, it would be a 4-pitch walk for Paul Delanto, but Elku looking to find some command of the strike zone, get back in this, but no, that one's low. He over-adjusts and sends ball 4 Delanto's way. It's a runner on first for the Americans. Next up is Ian Huang, the switch hitter here for Niagara Falls. Looking for his first hit of the night, also his first contact in fair territory of the night. He's struck out twice and takes a strike right there from Elku, who is beginning to find his way. That's his first strike thrown of the night. Elku is going to head in to his freshman year of college in the fall. Sends ball one low. An attendee of Ithaca High School. The pitch fouled down the first base line. A high fly ball for strike two. Will Cordero, the manager, serving as the third base coach tonight for the Americans. And that is way inside, gets away from the catcher, G. Martino, and taking second base is Paul Delanto. So it'll be a wild pitch for Elku. G. Martino has had a tough time keeping up with him thus far as Huang steps back in with the 2-2 count. That'll be just outside to fill up the count. Ian Huang avoiding his third strikeout of the night. Huang looking to break out of this slump, and sending Delanto home would be a great start. That's another fly ball, foul down the first base line to keep this at bat alive for Ian Huang. Playing second for the Americans tonight, has done a great job defensively for the Americans this season, as Elko checks the runner on the fly ball into right field for out number one. Delanto will hold up at second base, and Bobby Hardy making the catch for out number one here in this sixth inning. Elku coming back to the mound to face Chris Gazaldo. He's also 0 for 2, struck out once. And G. Martino will meet with Elku, hoping to get on the same page here with the runner in scoring position. Paul Delanto took second base on the wild pitch after walking. Delanto on base for the second time tonight. He singled and walked. That base hit was right into center field earlier tonight. Elku checks on Delanto, who has a lead, and throws inside to Chris Gazaldo. Makes it 1-0. Gazaldo starts a string in this Americans lineup. 3 out of 4 guys coming from Panola. And the pitch sent behind Gazaldo on the foul tip. Ones across the board, ball strikes outs. Appears it's Brady Toney, the relief pitcher for these Americans, serving as first base coach right now. That is quite the sight, with Paul Wolf not able to make it to Auburn tonight. It's ball one, or ball two rather, inside to Gazaldo. And Elku checks the runner, now delivers another low and inside ball to Gazaldo. Doubledays mascot walking by right now, wearing the same number as Chris Gazaldo. They both are representing Jackie Robinson's number 42. The 3-1 sent into left center field on the fly ball. Going back, and Adam Sullivan will make the catch for out number 2. Delanto still held up at second base, but Jay Collins hoping to drive him in before the inning ends. It's still 2-1 Americans. They're looking for some insurance against the reliever Elku, who has gotten some help from his outfielders here in this sixth inning. Sullivan played short last night, now in center tonight, making the catch there as ball one goes inside to Jay Collins. Fairly clean defensive game for the Doubledays tonight, just one error. And Elku checks back on the runner at second. Delanto, it's in there for strike one. And in this top of the sixth, the Americans looking to expand on their lead. Now 2 strikes here on Hollins. Elku has started to settle in here after a bit of a wild beginning to his outing here. The wild pitch sending Delanto to second. That time it's in the dirt. Delanto starts to take off but heads back. Realizes he will not get there. He's been caught stealing once this season. Does not want it to happen again as the count evens up at 2. Make it 2s across the board. Jake Hollins, second-year vet here with the Americans. Pitch from Elku, fouled off. And as I mentioned earlier, 3 extra base hits on the season for him. Extra bases would certainly help out the Americans right now. 2-2 count. Hollins steps back in, bat over his shoulder. The pitch fouled off down the first base line on the ground ball. 73 miles an hour on the off-speed pitch. Elku, pretty interesting windup as well. Legs very far apart as ball 3 goes into the dirt. Full count, 2 outs. Runner on second for Jake Hollins. Hollins, 698 OPS last season. Came into this game with an 862 OPS, so getting better in that regard. But now he swings and misses. Second strikeout of the night for Jake Hollins will end the inning and strand Delanto on second. A lot of runners left on both sides tonight, but the Doubledays will look to take the lead back or at least tie it up here in the bottom of the 6th when we're back. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the 6th inning here at Falcon Park. And fans, remember that an Americans game is a great way to entertain a group for the evening, and we are able to offer fundraisers tailored to your group needs, nonprofits, churches, youth sports, and more. For all group information, please visit the Americans website, NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. And Keegan Bazinet has indeed come out for the 6th inning here, as it's Parker Schwake to start things off here for the Doubledays. Max Fishbein and Tommy Kerwin will follow him up. But Bazinet's still going, and he has had quite the night on the mound here. The Americans' bats have gone a little bit cold in this game, but still 3 knocks on the night to score 2 runs and give the Americans the 2-1 lead. Pitch from Bazinet will find the low edge of the zone for strike 1 on Parker Schwake. Schwake on the night is 2 for 2. Looking for hit number 3. Takes the ball inside to even up the count. Bazinet, 5 innings without an earned run, looking to keep that streak going. And a great night for him. That is low and away to make it 2-1. Bazinet has walked just 2 batters tonight. The pitch. Another one inside for ball 3. And if Bazinet is unable to refine his command to the zone. This could be walk number 3 here. The pitch on the 3-1 will get in there for strike 2 to fill up this count. Parker Schwake has been very patient here and will take the payoff pitch here from Bazinet inside for the walk. So runner gets on for Schwake. Or rather, Schwake is the runner on. It's Max Fishbein up next. And Fishbein was a .333 hitter coming into the game. Takes ball 1 outside. He's 0 for 2 tonight, so that average has dipped to 200. Bazinet checks on first base, now delivers. And it's 2 balls and no strikes as Paul Delanto comes in to meet with Keegan Bazinet. And you can tell these Americans catchers apart very distinctively, each one having a different colored set of pads and a mask. Delanto will always be in red here for these Americans. Ethan Madison wears purple. And Lucas Feldman, caught the other day, wears blue. Now an inside pitch for ball 3, so 3 consecutive balls here for Bazinet. Actually, 4 consecutive balls if you count the ball 4 just a moment ago, and that is now 5. 2 consecutive walks for Bazinet. He has doubled his walk total in this inning alone. So now another meeting at the mound, and this is most likely going to be it for Keegan Bazinet after 5 innings plus. There's action in the bullpen. Bazinet, his night is over. His teammates coming out to congratulate him on an excellent start. But he did just put 2 runners on with 2 walks. So we'll see if the Americans' bullpen can get them out of it here. No earned runs just yet for Bazinet. So unless a couple of these Doubledays on base score, he will get away from this one unscathed. And Hudson Boring will be the first reliever tonight for the Americans. Boring normally serving as more of a late inning guy for the Americans, but today, the first reliever out of the pen. He has 2 saves on the season. Also pitched the final 2 outs for the Americans last night. And now, yeah, he came in for Carter Hall last night after 1 1/3, and now coming in this 6th inning. And we've been talking about Panola College players all night long. Hudson Boring's another one. So there are now 4 Panola players on the diamond for these Americans. Those being the pitcher Hudson Boring, the third baseman Brady Bowles, shortstop Chris Gazaldo, and left fielder Tommy Mathey. So the whole left side of the infield and outfield is Panola. And now the pitcher from Panola. Panola College has 5 players on this team, tied for second most with Niagara University. SUNY Niagara, the clubhouse lead. And so many of those players have played here at Falcon Park. We're just here for the JUCO Division III World Series back at the end of May. So the new pitcher, as I mentioned a second ago, is Hudson Boring, and Tommy Kerwin, the second baseman, will be the first batter to face him .462 hitter. Hudson Boring looking to keep his clean ERA here. The pitch finds the outside part. Yeah, that'll go outside for ball 1. Boring checking on second base. Runners will go. Try for the double steal, and the tag not in time, so both runners safe for these Doubledays. Apologies for the issues with the score bug. We'll get that figured out here in just a moment. The pitch goes for ball 3. And it is a 4-pitch walk by Hudson Boring. Not what you want to see. Its base is loaded for these Doubledays. As I mentioned a second ago, score bug having some problems here, but we'll give you all the latest. No worries. As Michael G. Martino comes up. And we will keep it here at the end of this 6th inning. Just get this score bug situation figured out. The pitch from Boring is ball 1, so it is the 5th consecutive ball for Boring. He's not had the same success that he has early in counts. So 1-1 now, as Boring has his first strike of the night. And that is a pop-up foul to make it 1-2. So 1-2 count, bases loaded. Those base runners getting on with walks. And it is now 2-2 on the count. From Boring to G. Martino. Runners on are Schwake, Fishbein, and Kerwin. Fouled off to keep G. Martino alive in this at-bat with the bases loaded. And it's nobody out, but with the bases loaded, all force plays available here. The double steal got Schwake and Fishbein to second and third, and then Kerwin walked to load the bases up. Another foul ball behind home plate. And Alex Vasquez in the on-deck circle. 2-1 Americans, but Doubledays looking to change that here. Bazinet responsible for the runners on second and third. Boring responsible for the runner on first. That's a low inside ball to make it 3-2. And the fans are rowdy here at Falcon Park. Big moment for Boring. Pop-up foul. It's a full count with nobody out. Doubledays scored their run in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Americans struck back in the top of the 5th with 2 Doubledays looking to respond. And another foul tip. This has been a very long at-bat by Michael G. Martino on an 84-mile-an-hour pitch from Hudson Boring. Payoff pitch on the way from Boring is flown into left field. Foul territory. That will go into the Doubleday bullpen. So this has been a very long at-bat between Hudson Boring and Michael G. Martino. G. Martino looking to get on base for the first time tonight. He's 0 for 2. And that is another one fouled off. He keeps this going, tiring out Hudson Boring on the mound. 85-mile-an-hour pitch. Our scorekeeper, Riley Drew Cross, also the clubhouse manager here with the Americans, keeping pitch counts down in the dugout. And this pitch count has gotten up for Boring pretty quickly here. That is driven into right field, but the catch is made for out number 1 by Jake Hollins. Run will come in. It's a sac fly. On the 6th hit of the day for Auburn. It's a tie game, 2-2. And here is Alex Vasquez. With 1 ball on the count here. It's a low ball 2. So 2-0 count here on Alex Vasquez. Runners on the corners. And the ball briefly gets away from Delanto, but it's a 3-0 count. Hudson Boring has struggled a bit here in this 6th inning, but the run will be charged to Bazinet on the sac fly. His other base runner, Max Fishbein, is now at 3rd. And that finds the strike zone low outside corner to make it 3-1. And despite our errors on the score bug, technical difficulties right now, it is a tie ball game, 2-2, as it's a wild pitch. Another run coming in, and Tommy Kerwin advancing to second to make it 3-2 Auburn. The Doubledays take back the lead in this bottom of the 6th. My apologies. They will make the tag in time for out number 1. And that is a grounder picked up by Miller himself, sent back to Hudson Boring. It is there in time for out number 2, so it is still 2-2 in this ball game as Paul Delanto makes the tag at home plate. And Sam Myers up next. We will take the score bug off for now to avoid confusion here, but Sam Meyer is up next. 267 hitter coming into the game, is 0 for 2 on the night, but with a runner on 3rd in the form of Kerwin. Looks to drive him in, and it's even at 1-1 now. 2 down. And the last runner for the Doubledays on 3rd base. The pitch from Boring outside. No, that'll at least be checked for strike. Yeah, that'll be strike 2. And Boring looks back, now delivers, sent into left field for the base hit, and now it will be 3-2 as trying for second is Sam Meyer. He'll be safe. So we'll wait for the call, but looks like a single in advance on the throw for Sam Meyer. And as we meet with Hudson Boring, we will try to get this score bug fixed for you right here. So my apologies for all the problems with it tonight. So it'll now be 3-2 Doubledays. Runner on second. And that will be hit number 7 of the night for Auburn. And we have a correction on the scoreboard. The runner that we mentioned as tagged out was indeed safe. So it is 4-2 Auburn. Bazinet getting charged with those 2 earned runs. So the Doubledays now with the 4-2 lead. That next run came on the single and advance on the throw by Sam Meyer. And Bobby Hardy will be up next as Joe Chaya will step in for Hudson Boring after the meeting on the mound. Boring with his first charged runs of his Americans career. Just one of them being charged to him, though. The other 2 will go to Keegan Bazinet, who finishes the night with 3 runs, 2 earned on those walks. Hudson Boring with his first earned run on 2/3 of an inning in that 6th inning. And now Joe Chaya, the next pitcher for these Americans, as the Doubledays have charged back here. They scored first in the 3rd inning to make it 1-0. Americans struck back with 2 runs in the top of the 5th, and then Auburn tacked on 3 more to make it 4-2 with 2 down. Pitch from Chaya, swing and a miss. And Joe Chaya will keep things going here. Another swing and a miss. So Joe Chaya was struggling quite a bit in his first couple of outings. He has his ERA right now had an even, or rather at 3.38, but it was a rough go for him early on. The ground ball sent to first base for out number 3, and Joe Chaya, as you can see, has made quite the recovery as a pitcher for these Americans. We bring it to the top of the 7th after the break.
That the ace
Dreamed of playing catch. back for the top of the 7th here, and Brady Bowles will lead us off as this 7th inning is sponsored by Bikers Against Child Abuse, Elks Lodge of Niagara Falls, the Stauka Agency, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. Apologies for the issues with our score bug. Had to fix those between the 6th and 7th here. But Brady Bowles will lead things off here for the Americans in the 7th inning and takes another ball here to make it 2-0 on the count. Bowles on the night is 0 for 2. Only 3 Americans have recorded a hit tonight. There's a third ball from Estonelku, who's still pitching after coming in the 6th. The pitch will get in there on the outside edge of the zone for strike 1 to Brady Bowles. Doubledays inning ended off with Bobby Hardy as ball 4 goes to Brady Bowles. He is on base for the Americans in this top of the 7th. And Tommy Mathey is up next. Bowles' college teammate will look to advance him and get the Americans back in this ball game. They are looking to avoid being swept in this home and home by the Auburn Doubledays after a 6-0 start to the season. And Elku now has Matthew Petrossi, the manager, coming in, as well as his infield meeting on the mound. Doubledays have some action in the bullpen. It's possible we see a new pitcher here, but we'll wait for the call. Estonelku was able to get out of the 6th inning, but had some traffic. And Elku will remain in the game for the time being with 1 on and nobody out. Tommy Mathey, his next customer. Mathey is one of 3 Americans with a hit tonight. Also walked, so he's been on base twice. And has 1 ball on the count here against Estonelku. Elku has a good view of Brady Bowles at first base. The lefty throws ball 2 to the hitter Mathey. Mathey had a nice catch out and left earlier tonight. Way inside for ball 3. So Estonelku in this inning has thrown 8 pitches and 7 of them have been balls. Elku looking to climb out of this, but that'll be a good start. Throws strike 1 on the inside corner of the zone. Got 1 strike on Brady Bowles as well, but then walked him. He'll try for the pickoff attempt, but Bowles scurrying back to first base. And Americans looking to strike back after the Doubledays scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch goes way inside for ball 4. It's a walk for Tommy Mathey and 2 base runners for the Americans. Both of them Panola hitters. And Carmen Panaro, the pinch hitter for Jack Satinoff earlier in the game. Now the extra hitter will come up for the 2nd time tonight. And now another mound visit. Matthew Petrossi coming in to meet with Estonelku again. And this time there's a pitcher coming out of the bullpen for Auburn. Estonelku's night is done after 1 inning plus of work for these Doubledays. Did not allow a run before leaving the game, but could be tacked with some earned runs if Bowles and Mathey manage to score. They'll go over to talk with Will Cordero at third base as we've got a pitching change for Auburn. It's going to be a right-hander now. Get you word on who in just a moment. And what do you know? Tyler Vivacqua is coming in to pitch for the Doubledays. Serving as the extra hitter tonight, but he can pitch as well. His last pitching appearance came on Tuesday against the Pioneers, went 1 inning. Vivacqua holds an ERA of 0 thus far this season, has made 2 pitching appearances for a total of 3 innings, and has struck out 3 batters. One of a couple of position players who can go 2 ways for these Doubledays. Matt McGeorge doing so last night, and now Vivacqua coming in to pitch in this 7th inning. Austin Droge, another who can pitch. Had the loss against Newark on Wednesday, but it'll be 21 versus 21. An interesting decision as the Doubledays take out a lefty in exchange for a righty to face the left-hander Panaro. And Mathey and Bowles on first and second. They just determined that Elku's command of the zone was struggling too much as Panaro shows bunt. The out at first, but runners advance. A successful sacrifice for Carmen Panaro. And that is a great move by the Americans. Panaro taking one for the team. 2 runners in scoring position now for a pinch hitter, Derek Jesmondi, coming in for Grant Moore. Jesmondi swing and a miss. Interesting decision to pinch hit for Grant Moore after he had the RBI triple earlier today, but Americans looking to get him a little bit of a rest. He's played in all 8 games here for Niagara Falls. Jesmondi sent it down the first baseline, foul. Jesmondi, a walk machine. His walk total on the season is at 7. But it's 0-2 right now to him. The pitch is a dribbler to first base. They'll try for the out at home, and the tag will be in there in time for the out. But it's runners on first and second as the Doubledays make a smart play to get out number 2 at the plate and avoid a run scoring, but it's still a runner in scoring position. And 2 ducks on the pond total for Evan Core. So Core represents the go-ahead run, looking to get the Americans back in the lead here, or at least get some runs on the board, as it's a big lead on second base by Tommy Mathey. Ball 1 low and away. So it's another one outside for ball 2, so a 2-0 count here to Evan Core. And the check back on the runner at second, who has a big lead. He'll hurry it back to first base. Tommy Mathey, a Panola product. Brady Bowles, his teammate, getting tagged out at the plate, but it's Mathey on second, Jesmondi on first. Both have a lead now as Vivacqua checks back to second, and it's in for the strike to make it 2-1. Gismondi thought about third base, or rather, Matei thought about third base. Gismondi is on first. It's 2-1 as Vivacqua will keep pitching here. Also, the extra hitter likely to keep hitting as well. The pitch is sent in to left field for the base hit. And Matei will be told to hold up at third base. Will Cordero given the stop sign with 2 down, and now the bag's juiced. It's the 4th hit of the night for the Americans, the first by Evan Core. So now Graydon Miller up next. Miller is 0 for 2. That's a pop-up sent into the shallow outfield, and it'll be caught for out number 3 to Strand. The bases loaded. Both teams have done that now tonight. We head to the bottom of the 7th. We'll be right back after these messages.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the 7th here at Falcon Park as Joe Chaya will keep pitching for the Americans. Recorded the final out in the 6th inning. And now in this 7th inning, we'll see Tyler Vivacqua Tyler Vivacqua, who just pitched. So now not just the extra hitter, but also the reliever for these Doubledays. He's due up alongside Josh Thompson and Adam Sullivan, the top of the order for these Auburn Doubledays. And it was Graydon Miller with the final out in that 6th, or rather top of the 7th inning, and ball 1 goes outside to Vivacqua. That finds the low inside corner, and Joe Chaya as a pitcher pretty much the entire year when he's been feeling it, he's been trying to paint those corners with strikes. And doing that tonight now gets Vivacqua to cut and miss on strike 2. Doubledays out hitting the Americans 7-4 and outscoring them 4-2 as Vivacqua sends it into deep left center, and diving for the play is Tommy Matei, who's now in center field. Gismondi will take over in left. And that's out number 1 on the diving catch by Tommy Matei, who has been a great defender regardless of where he's playing. And here is Josh Thompson. Thompson takes strike 1 from Joe Chaya, who has gotten better and better every time he's appeared. That's an upstairs and outside ball 1. And Chaya continues to paint these corners against the lefty Thompson. It's a lefty on lefty matchup Chaya's going to have a lot of those here in this 7th inning as ball 2 goes wild outside. The pitch is in there in the outside low corner to make it 2-2. Joe Chaya does an excellent job with these corner pitches. And here's the 2-2, foul ball to keep the at-bat alive on the 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Chaya, a 3.38 ERA on the year. Will send the 2-2 Thompson's way. And framing by Delanto there can not save it. It's an upstairs ball 3. Thompson tonight is 1 for 2. The pitch goes in there for strike 3. And it was a close call. Thompson was not happy about it, but nonetheless, it's 2 down here for the Doubledays. As Chaya sends him packing. Joe Chaya with his first strikeout of the night here sends ball 1 way inside to Adam Sullivan. Chaya looking for a clean inning here in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Fouled off to even up the count at 1. So it's been 2 up, 2 down for these Doubledays against Joe Chaya here in the 7th. Sullivan, 1 for 3 tonight. Takes strike 2 on the outside part of the plate. So now in a 1-2 hole. Sullivan hoping to recover here. He has 11 RBIs on the year. Came into this batting .333, so a great hitter. Takes ball 2 outside. 2's across the board now. Ball strikes outs. Sullivan looking to get on for the second time tonight. Drives it into right field. It'll drop for the base hit. So Joe Chaya gives up the single here in the bottom of the 7th. And now the Doubledays and Americans each have double the hits as runs. Doubledays doubling up the Americans in every way. Pretty ironic here given their name, but the runner on first with 2 down for the cleanup hitter Parker Schwake. Schwake has had quite the night as cleanup hitter, 2 for 2. Also had a walk. Came into this game batting .222, so he has really boosted that with tonight's game as the cleanup hitter. Has just 1 runner on here in the form of Adam Sullivan. The first 2 are retired, and that one sent to second on the ball. Adam Sullivan will steal safely. Adam Sullivan has some wheels on him, as do all 3 of these top 3 batters for the Doubledays. And a great player over at Lemoyne College, Adam Sullivan, as he was all-conference team in 2023, and then great year in 25 as well. Swing and a miss to make it 2-1 to Schwake here with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch goes outside, makes it 3-1. Fans are rowdy again here at Falcon Park. A lot of banging on these stands here. Mostly bleachers, a few chairs towards the front of the stands. And Chaya, the pitch, swing and a miss for strike 2 to fill up the count. Big moment for Joe Chaya coming up here. He's got the runner and Adam Sullivan on second. And count is 2-2. My apologies. The scoreboard had some problems. And Now, that'll be in there for strike 3. A big strike zone by the ump, but Joe Chaya is happy. His second strikeout of the night. And we'll head to the 8th inning. We'll be right back as the Americans hope to pull this out, make the comeback. Stay right here.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back here at Falcon Park for the 8th inning as Tyler Vivacqua warms up to keep pitching. This 8th inning is sponsored by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. And in addition, the Americans would love to partner with your business. You can be a part of these ad reads right here on the broadcast and at the ballpark. The Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in your community. Please visit our website at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com to get involved. Go Americans. And here's Paul Delanto in this top of the 8th inning. He'll be due up alongside Ian Wang and Chris Gazaldo, barring any pinch hitters. Delanto had a single earlier tonight, so he's 1 for 2, takes an outside ball 1 from Tyler Vivacqua, who you just saw hit as well. He started the night as the extra hitter. Now pitching, pop-up is sent into foul territory, out of play to make it 1-1. Ian Wang will indeed be on deck. Looks for his first hit of the night. He's 0 for 3. But Delanto up first here with the 1-1 count. Pitch from Vivacqua. Outside to make it 2-1. Delanto has the count in his favor early here. Looking to get on base for the 3rd time tonight. Had a single and a walk. Took second base after the walk on a wild pitch. And he'll take a timeout here. Fans continue to make noise here. Vivacqua, the pitch, goes inside and up high for ball 3 to Delanto. So big hitters count for Delanto here. We'll see if he gets the green light. Has a lot of power. No, he'll take ball 4 outside. So he's on base to start off this 8th inning for the Americans. And now Ian Huang up to bat next. Tyler Vivacqua has a walks plus hits per inning coming into this game of .33. That'll go up with that one. And Vivacqua delivers on the first pitch to Ian Huang. It goes high up for ball 1 on the inside. Chris Gazaldo on deck. He'll keep hitting. The shortstop for the Americans is the middle infield right here as Huang plays second for these Americans. Way inside to make it 2-0. Delanto had a bit of a lead at first, but now foot on the bag. Starts to get his lead again now. And Adam Sullivan playing a little bit to the left in center field as ball 3 goes to Huang. Batting from the left side of the plate again. After His first couple of bats against Lefkis were from that side, and here is the 3-0 pitch in just a moment from Vivacqua. And that finds the inside corner for strike one. So 3-1 to Wang. It was 3 balls in a row to start this at bat. 6 consecutive total by Vivacqua. Now finally a strike to break it up. Wang sends it into left field down the third base line for a base hit and potentially more. He'll head for second. And it is 2 runners in scoring position on the stand-up double for Ian Wang. Finally, with a hit after a bit of a slump over the last couple of games for him. And Ian Wang with the double right there. That will represent his second double of the season. His first coming in the season opener at Batavia. Had a single in the home opener against the Ironbacks, but this is his first hit since then, and he's got to be feeling good after a week without one. Here's Chris Gazaldo. Strike one finds the low part of the plate. Still nobody out. With 2 runners on, the Americans stranded the bases loaded in the 7th inning, hoping to avoid stranding more runners in scoring position now. Gazaldo fouls it off for strike 2. So 2 strikes with nobody out and 2 ducks on the pond, both of which are in scoring position. Gazaldo represents the go-ahead run. Wang at second represents the tying run. Wang has a big lead at second base. Delanto's lead at third a little smaller, but a foul ball by Gazaldo to keep him alive in this at-bat despite the 0-2 count. He's got some ground to make up here if he wants to get on base with a walk, but a hit would be even more productive here for Gazaldo, or even a ground out of some sort. A foul ball now. Even a sac fly could score these runners. Just got to bite back after that 3-run 6th inning by the Doubledays to put them ahead 4-2. The Americans did lead in this game after their 2-run 5th inning. It's been back and forth. Swing and a miss. Gazaldo strikes out, but the runner's still on second and third with just 1 down. Jake Hollins will be the next batter to try and change the Americans' fate here. Hollins came into this game batting .294, looking for his first hit of the night. Socks one into right field. It'll be caught for out number 1. Runners tagging up, and it'll be a close call at home. They'll call him safe. The run coming in. Paul Delanto will score on the sac fly. Very, very close on out number 2, but the Americans cut the lead to 1. Oh, my goodness. And Paul Delanto dodging the tag to make it 4-3. There's been a couple close ones at the plate. Delanto not able to get the tag on that Auburn run in the 6th inning, but now he'll score himself as ball 1 goes outside to now Brady Bowles. The runner on third is Ian Wang, also tagged up on that sac fly. 5 hits, 3 runs here for the Americans tonight. 1 error apiece for these teams. And a good view of Wang at third that Vivacqua has. Fouled off by Brady Bowles to make it 1-1. But the Americans cut this lead to 1. They are still very much in this ball game. They've come back from bigger before. The pitch, swing and a miss. A big cut by Brady Bowles. Tyler Vivacqua looking to get out of this 8th inning with just 1 run given up. Brady Bowles looking for his first hit of the night. He did walk. He's had plenty of those on the season. The pitch is out. Yes, it'll go for strike 3. Never mind. So that'll end the inning. Ian Huang stranded on third, but the Americans put up a run. We'll be right back with the bottom of the inning after these messages. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the eighth here at Falcon Park, and as a Red Sox fan, I love to hear Sweet Caroline playing through the speakers in the middle of the eighth right here. But as we get underway for the bottom of the eighth, Joe Chaya will keep pitching after he's gone 1 1/3. But we want to thank everyone for tuning in to the broadcast tonight. And remember that an American's game is a great way to bring your group together. Whether it's a school, church, business, or youth sports organization, the Americans are able to offer great options and even picnics for your organization or business. Reserve your group online at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. So Max Fishbein will lead off the inning for the Doubledays. Last inning ended with Brady Bowles, who went down on the strikeout. Now 0 for 3 tonight, but Max Fishbein will start off this bottom of the eighth and look for his first hit of the night. He did reach base with a walk, but Fishbein just one hit on the season, came last night against these Americans, one of 3 Denison University players who arrived last night. And he fouls off the pitch down the first base line on a line drive for strike 1. Joe Chaya has just gotten better and better as he continues to pitch for these Americans. Here's another one sent to the third baseman, Brady Bowles. Throw to first will be there for out number 1. As Tommy Kerwin up next, as the Doubledays look to expand on their 1-run lead. It was cut to 1 by the Americans in the top of the 8th. But Kerwin on the night is 1 for 2 with a walk. Contributed to that big 6th inning for these Doubledays. Strike 1 on the bottom part of the plate. So Tommy Kerwin down 0-1. Grounder sent to Graydon Miller, and coming to cover is Joe Chaya, but not in time. Safe at first base is Tommy Kerwin for the infield single. It's hit number 9 for the Doubledays. And here's Michael G. Martino, the catcher for Auburn. That was a very close play at first base. Joe Chaya just a little late for the tag. But he does have 1 batter retired in the inning. He's recorded 5 outs here for the Americans, and no framing can save that outside ball by Chaya to G. Martino. It's another left-on-left matchup. The Auburn Doubledays stacked their lineup with lefties, and now the Americans countering, bringing in the lefty. Runner goes, and safe at second base is Tommy Kerwin. He'll complete the steal on ball 2. And that is going to be sent to Gazaldo at short. And the out at first, not in time. So now 2 runners on. They're on the corners. It's consecutive infield hits for the Doubledays. And Joe Chaya will pitch next. So Alex Vasquez has some traffic on the base paths with 1 down. The Doubledays looking to expand on their lead. This would be a big sweep for them of the first place Niagara Falls Americans, but Joe Chaya will check on The runner at first, G. Martino, is safe there. Kerwin is at third now after the steal and the advance on the infield single. The pitch from Joe Chaya goes upstairs for ball one to Alex Vasquez. Vasquez just one hit so far on the season, also came last night against the Americans. Swing and a miss to even up the count. One's across the board. Balls, strikes, outs. This would be a big out number 2 for Joe Chaya if he can get the strikeout right here. But the Doubledays looking to expand on their 4-3 lead right here. The pitch from Chaya. Swing and a miss as Vasquez will bite on the outside pitch. It's 1-2. Chaya with the 86-mile-an-hour fastball. Those fastballs have consistently been going in the high 80s for him. The pitch right here, fouled off. Another 86-mile-an-hour heater. And Alex Vasquez came into this game batting .250. Now down to 143 as he's 0 for 3 on the night. Way outside, it's a wild pitch. Run comes home just in time. And it is 5-3 Auburn. The Doubledays get their lead back to 2 on the wild pitch by Chaya, and the count is even at 2. Not what you want to see. Joe Chaya has generally had a strong night, but the wild pitch is going to bring in the run for Auburn. Joe Chaya charged with his first earned run of the night. Full count now on Alex Vasquez. This is a big moment for Joe Chaya. Still a big out number 2, even with the runner on third coming home. And the pitch is fouled off. Alex Vasquez staying in this at bat. One of those Denison guys who came in last night was starting shortstop for them all of Super Regionals. And now the starting shortstop, his first start there for the Doubledays. Chaya checking on second base, now delivering. It's outside for ball 4 to make it first and second. It's G. Martino at second base, and Alex Vasquez takes a walk to get on base for the first time tonight. Joe Chaya beginning to struggle here in this 8th inning as Sam Meyer comes up next with 1 down and 2 on. Doubledays looking to blow this game open here. They led by 1 headed into the inning. They've already scored 1, and it's 2 ducks on the pond as Meyer comes up to bat. Americans will have the chance to battle back in the top of the 9th, but it's a pop-up in foul territory. It'll be out of play. Graydon Miller chasing it down, but not going to be there. So 1 strike on the count here for Sam Meyer, the left fielder. Meyer played right field last night, then flip-flopped with Bobby Hardy, who's on deck. And that's strike 2, finds that inside corner. Joe Chaya continuing to paint those corners. And he checks second base on G. Martino. Now delivers the 0-2. And it is not in there. So 1-2 to him on the 72-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. Chaya checks back on G. Martino again. He has a lead. Now the pitch outside to even up the count. Another 2-2 count. The check back at second base multiple times by Chaya. Another one high and away to fill up the count. Joe Chaya has got to find his command of the strike zone back. Sam Meyer showing some great patience. It was a fast one from Chaya, but needs to find that command of the strike zone with the full count. And here we go. Payoff pitch from Joe Chaya behind the batter. You cannot do that, but the bases are loaded. And now Delanto will come to meet with Joe Chaya. This might be it for him. And the Red Wings had a few of those behind the batter on Wednesday night, but here on the Niagara Falls Americans, just not what you want to see. We'll see if there's a pitching change made. Some early action in the pen for Niagara Falls. But Chaya hoping to potentially finish out this inning. We'll see if he does. Yes, he will. He will stay in there for the time being as Bobby Hardy comes up with the bases loaded, and this is not a matchup you want to see. 0 for 3 on the night. However, last night had 2 hits off of the Americans. 0 for 2, rather. Reached on an error today. Bases juiced. It's Meyer, Vasquez, and G. Martino, and that's another wild one. Runners go, and the tag at home, not in time. Chaya will slam down his glove as another run comes in. He had to run in to get that one as Delanto was chasing after the ball to throw it to him. Not often you have to see the pitcher covering home plate, but it's 6-3 Auburn. All runners advance on the wild pitch. So 1 ball on Bobby Hardy as Meyer and Vasquez are both in scoring position. This could get ugly quick here. But the Americans will still have one more shot in the top of the 9th unless the Doubledays really blow this out of proportion. It's now an even count. Ones across the board. Balls, strikes, outs. And Joe Chaya has just been really longing for that second out here. As he does get a strike there, looking to keep it up here on the 1-1 count. The pitch fouled off. 1-2. Chaya, his control starting to come back on the 85-mile-an-hour fastball. Chaya with the 1-2 count. In this left on right matchup, throws outside to even up the count again. It's a back and forth battle here between Hardy and Chaya. Chaya always going to be battling, and Hardy always a tough at bat. The pitch is going to be just in there on the breaking ball for strike 3. Looked outside at first, but curves in for strike 3. And Bobby Hardy was fooled. Tyler Vivacqua, the pitcher, now coming in to hit with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 down. Joe Chaya, a big moment for him. The pitch is going to be low for ball 1. The good news is if you just get the out at first base on any ground ball or even a fly ball, that is it for the inning. 2 outs is big for Joe Chaya. That was a huge strikeout. And now 2 balls and no strikes on the batter, Vivacqua. Product of Niagara University. His own teammate back at school, Ian Huang, is playing second tonight. And that'll find the low end of the strike zone for strike 1 to make this closer here, but still a hitter's count for Vivacqua. 2-1. The pitch outside. 3-1 count. You do not want to see another walk here. That was an 85-mile-an-hour pitch, but just too far out. Thompson on deck. And the pitch from Chaya to Vivacqua goes outside and high for ball 4. The bases are loaded again for the Doubledays. Josh Thompson will be up next to face Joe Chaya, the next customer in this left-on-left matchup. Vivacqua, switch hitter, was able to move over to the righty side of the plate to face Chaya. He pitches exclusively righty, but hits both ways. And now Josh Thompson, 1 for 3 on the night. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Joe Chaya needs this right now. Down 6-3. This could break open very quickly if Chaya cannot record the out. All force plays available, though. The foul ball brings Joe Chaya 1 strike away from ending this inning. Auburn doesn't need runs here. They just need a clean top of the ninth to win this game. But runs would certainly be nice. The pitch from Chaya is in there for strike 3. No, though. Yeah, they will call that strike 3. Josh Thompson goes down with the bases loaded. And it is 6-3 Doubledays as we head to the 9th inning. The Americans will look to make another 9th inning comeback. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the 9th, and this 9th inning is sponsored by Casella, Solino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages, providing all the alcoholic beverages over at the Third Baseline Beer Garden at Sal Magley. And in this 9th inning, it'll be Tommy Mathay up first to face Tyler Vivacqua, who's looking to close out this game and record the save. After Mathay will be Carmen Panaro, followed by Derek Gismondi. And here's Mathay to face Tyler Vivacqua, who is looking for his first save of the season. Strike 1. In there on Tommy Mathay here. The pitch is swung foul for strike 2. So this has been an early hole here for Tommy Mathay that he's going to have to climb out of. He's reached base multiple times tonight. Here's the pitch inside, low inside corner for ball 1. And Vivacqua was looking for a strike right there. But Matei will foul it off. He's walked twice tonight, also singled. So been a frequent flyer on the base paths. Looking to climb out of this 1-2 hole or get on base again. Some way, somehow. The pitch way upstairs to make it 2-2. And it's a 2-2 pitch. Vivacqua sends it upstairs to make it a full count. The pitch is a grounder to the shortstop Vasquez, and will send it in time for out number 1. Tommy Matei retired for the first time tonight. And it'll be Carmen Panaro up next, with Jesmondi on deck. No pinch hitters just yet here for the Americans. Down 3 to the Doubledays. The pitch in there for strike 1. These Americans bats had a very hot start to the season. A little cooler tonight with just 5 hits. And they've had some nice pitching, but the Doubledays got to the Americans' bullpen. And the pitch from Vivacqua. Panaro shows bunt. And it's 1-1 on Panaro. One's across the board. Ball strikes outs. In the on-deck circle is Derek Jesmondi. And the pitch will catch the strike zone. As the lights are bright here at Falcon Park in more ways than one. 1-2. Big pitch coming here from Vivacqua. Goes high and inside to make it 2-2. Panaro looking for his first hit of the season. Reached base with a walk and scored. The pitch, swing and a miss. Down he goes. Out number 2 is a Carmen Panaro strikeout. Doubledays 1 out away from ending this game with a 6-3 victory over the Americans. Americans would go down to 6-2. Doubledays would be up to 4-3-1, and the Americans would have to look for revenge tomorrow when they face the Ironbacks at home. But strike 1 now on Derek Jesmondi. First pitch tomorrow will be at 6:30 at Sal Maglie Stadium as the battle of USA and Canada continues. Americans lead that season series 2-0 thus far. The pitch from Vivacqua, another cut and miss. 2 strikes on Jesmondi and 1 strike away. Tyler Vivacqua is looking for his first save of the year to complete this victory for the Doubledays. The pitch fouled off. Jesmondi's still alive. 7 walks on the year. Could show some patience here to get himself on base, but the Americans need not just 1 run, but 3 runs. The tying run is all the way in the hole. The pitch upstairs for ball 1. Jesmondi redshirted his freshman year from Mount St. Mary's. Now entering the transfer portal, looking to gain some steam. He has 1 hit on the year, but that is in there for strike 3. That's the ball game. The Doubledays win 6-3 over the Americans. They double up the Americans on runs, hits, and double up their season series as well. Make it 2-0 on the year against the Americans. 4-3-1 overall on the season. Americans will fall to 6-2, but they'll look for revenge tomorrow night when they see the Niagara Ironbacks at Sal Magley. First pitch for that one at 6:30. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to tonight's game. I've been your play-by-play broadcaster, Andrew Roberts. Final score from Falcon Park: Doubledays 6, Americans 3.